Guys, welcome back to Carly's Creations. I'm Carly, obviously, and today I'm going to show you how I ombre a tumbler using the epoxy method. So you can apply glitter if you've done tumblers or if you've watched any videos on tumblers, either using the epoxy method, the tack it method, or an adhesive like a Mod Podge. So usually I'll use a Mod Podge. Lately I've started to do more of the epoxy method. It just seems to be a little bit more effective, and you get a little bit of more work time as far as applying your glitter. Mod Podge does dry quickly. If you've ever used it, then you know that. So sometimes that does limit, especially when you're doing an ombre or some kind of design with your glitter, it does limit the time that you have. Especially in the summer. I live in Central California, so in the summers it gets really hot. Usually at least 100. So when I will apply a Mod Podge to a tumbler, I mean within seconds, it's dry. So it does make it a little bit more difficult. And so for that, this method seems to work better for me. So, okay. So I'm going to do 2 different tumblers, 2 different sizes, and 2 different textures of glitter. So I'm kind of wrapping it all into one video for you. One of the tumblers we're going to do is a modern curve. This is a hog tumbler that I got from the Stainless Steel Depot, and it's a 20 ounce. The other one that we're going to do is a 30 ounce skinny. Okay, those are both hog. They both came from Stainless Steel Depot. And then I have my epoxy here that I have very, very little. You can see there's hardly any in the cup, maybe 2 mLs total. And we're going to do that for both of these cups. So if you've done the hang method, this is very similar to the hang method. You're going to add hardly any glitter to it. And I'm going to use 3 different types of glitter. All of these glitters you can find on my website, and I will make sure to link all that down below for you, along with the colors and the names and things like that. So this color is a black. I'm going to use it on both. I lied. On one of the cups. The purple I'm going to use on both. So this one is a black. It's called Stroke of Midnight, and it does hold a beautiful sparkle even after you add epoxy. A lot of blacks will kind of look like tar. This one has a beautiful holographic incorporated in it, and it will look stunning on your tumbler. The other one is our Cabernet, which is like a deep plumish purple, and we're going to use a medium chunky rose gold. Okay? Alright, so I'm going to go ahead and do our curved tumbler first, and for that one I'm going to use the Cabernet and the rose gold. If you have shakers, you can use shakers. If you have a bag, you know, whatever you want to do your glitter in is fine. I have big containers of bulk items that I use because I sell it. So I don't necessarily package it for myself. I just grab it out of the bulk bag. So, all right, let's get started. Okay, so far all I've done here is I've prepped the cup and sprayed it. And if you're not sure how to prep a cup, you can hop back onto my channel, scroll down, and there's a video that is strictly just on prepping a cup. It's very easy, but a necessary step that you want to do. And I did spray a gold and a black, and I kind of ombre the colors a little bit here, and it just helps save on glitter. Typically, you don't have to do like 2 coats because you already have that base color down. I didn't have a rose gold paint, otherwise I would have used a rose gold, so I figured gold works fine. Same with the purple. I didn't have a dark purple on hand. Okay, so I'm just going to add very, very little bit of epoxy. You're going to want to work this onto your tumbler. It shouldn't be easy. You want it to be work. You want a extremely thin layer. If you put too much, you know, you might have your glitter moving around or drip marks, things like that. And that's definitely something you don't want. So I'm gonna add a little bit more to this side. Like I said, I didn't measure it. I know I'm one of those people who don't really measure the amounts that I have, but I would guess around 2 mLs probably total for both cups. And you just want to make sure that you do get full coverage all over the cup. Obviously, if you miss a spot, the glitter won't stick, so just make sure you get it all coated. Okay. And then once I get it on there, I just kind of go around one last time around the cup, and I just make sure to pull it all the way down and make sure that it's got a nice smooth surface to work on. Especially with fine glitters aren't as forgiving as chunky glitters as far as seeing things under them. So if you have like a clump of glue or something like that, you'll usually see that with a fine glitter. All right, so there we go. Take off the glove. Okay, so I'm gonna start at the bottom with my chunky, and then I'm gonna move up to the fine, and then I'm gonna go back and forth here and there. So I'm gonna start just at the very rim here, and I'm gonna make sure I'm gonna get a nice thick coat, full coverage just down here at the bottom. Okay, same thing at the bottom of the tumbler. Make sure you look for all those little empty spots. Get enough in there. And then just shake off any extras that you have. Chunky glitters are typically a little bit more stubborn to work with. They are beautiful, but they kind of have a mind of their own, and can be a pain, but they're worth it. So I always say I have a love-hate relationship with chunky glitter. Okay, so I got a good thick coat, a good solid coat down here at the bottom, and got all my coverage there. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to get my cup, and oh, there's a little spot right here. I'm going to tip it up, and I'm going to do mine at a pretty big angle, and I'm going to hold my glitter up high, and I'm going to let it fall. And I'm going to let it naturally fall where it feels like it wants to. If you want a little bit more control, just do less of an angle. Your glitter will probably go everywhere. As you can see, or you can't really see, my workstation is always covered in glitter. But I try to collect any extras that I have and either put it back into the container, or I make just a big old dump bucket full of glitter. All right. So that's good now. I don't need to worry about it getting it completely covered. So that's kind of where we're at so far. I'm going to move my rose gold to the side, and then we're going to pull in the Cabernet. Okay. So here's our Cabernet. This is our fine glitter, and I'm going to do the same thing. I'm going to start at the rim, and I'm going to get a nice, good, solid coverage on the top here. Ooh, the wind's blowing like crazy. There is some chunky on the top. That's okay. I'm not too worried about it. And I'm going to bring it down just a little bit more. I want to make sure to get a good, full, solid color right here. Okay, so now we're going to do the same thing. Okay, I'm going to hold it up at an angle, hold my glitter up high, and we're just going to let it fall. I do a little bit of tapping at a time. Like I said, if you want more control, you'll do less of an angle. If you want less control, bigger angle. Okay, so that's kind of where we're at now. We're going to go back to the rose gold one more time. Put that right there. Okay. And then I'm just going to kind of come in the center a little bit. And I'm just kind of looking for any spots maybe that I might have missed. I don't want any big holes, anything like that showing. Okay. And just kind of eye it until you kind of get the blend that you want. There we go. We're getting there. Just look, make sure if you see a spot that maybe looks a little empty, go ahead and add some more. Okay. Now for the last time, we're going to go back to the Cabernet, and then we'll be done with this cup, and then we'll go to the next one. All right. So my glitter here. Okay. Back to the Cabernet one more time, and I've already got the top a good solid, so I'm going to take it down to the bottom. And I'm tipping my cup, and I'm going to go one last time around. And same thing as the rose gold, I'm just going to make sure I don't have any bare spots, anything like that. Shake off any excess, and then I kind of just check around just to make sure. And there we go. So there is our first ombre. They do take a lot of practice. I've been doing this a while and I still don't always get it. There's some times where I'm like, oh, I nailed it. And then other times I'm like, that doesn't look so good. Okay, so we're going to set this guy to the side. And I'm going to go ahead and dump my Cabernet back in. And then the rose gold. So now we're going to do the same thing, only with fine glitter. Okay. All right. Here we go. So I'm going to get another glove, clean glove. I'm not going to reuse the same one. We're going to do the same exact technique, just on a different style cup. So I'm going to get the epoxy. Same thing as before. You're going to put just the very bare minimum on there. Just enough to get coverage. And this might take you a minute or two of just kind of working it around the cup. If you've ever done the hang method, this is the same concept, same idea. You're going to put very minimal amounts of epoxy on, work it until you got your cup all completely covered, and let her hang, right? Okay. All right, so I won't make you sit through this, so I'm going to go ahead and pause it, and then I'll jump right back on as soon as I have it full coverage. Okay, so we're back. It is fully epoxied, very, 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 very thin. I can't stress that enough, very thin layer. I even have a little bit left in my cup. So that tells you how thin the layer was. But just want to make sure you get full coverage. Okay, so we're going to use our Cabernet, and we're going to use our beautiful black. So I'm going to start at the bottom just like I did before. And I'm going to get some full coverage just right here down at the very bottom of the lip. This color is perfect if you do Galaxy tumblers, the Northern Lights tumblers, anything like that. Or if you just want a black cup that has some sparkle. It really is pretty. Okay, so we're going to get down at the bottom. Both of these glitters aren't ultra fine. So it does give you a little bit different texture look. It's hard to see from the side if I got full coverage on the bottom. Okay. So the skinnies are a little bit different. For me anyways, as a visual, so to say. With the curved tumblers, you see that curve kind of halfway through the cup, so it gives you a visual like, oh, okay, well this is where my ombre look should be. The skinnies obviously don't have the curve, which is the whole point of the skinny. So they're a little different on that end. So same thing, I'm going to hold it straight up. So you'll just kind of have to plan a little bit in advance as to where you want your ombre to start. Do you want it in the middle? Do you want it, you know, mostly down at the bottom, 3/4 of the way down, however you want to do it, or however your customer wants it done. So this is a customer order that she just wanted black coming up from the bottom, is what she said. So that's usually what they need. Okay, so now I'm going to switch. We're going to go back to the Cabernet. Same thing, very top, we're going to get that full coverage. Make sure you get all the way up to the lip here. You don't want bare lips of glitter. Okay, and bring it down just a little bit more, not all the way. You want that gap in between. Don't be afraid to pour the glitter on. You're gonna catch it and you just put it right back in your jar. It's not like you're wasting anything. You actually use very little glitter, believe it or not. Okay, all right, same thing, back up. We're just gonna let it fall. Okay, there we go. So now I'm gonna go back to my black. I'm gonna swap it all out. And you're just gonna go back and forth until you kind of get that look that you're wanting. So I'm gonna dump some of this back into my cup. Okay. So now I'm gonna start by the angle. And we're just gonna let it fall. You want it to kind of fall sporadically. If you've seen ombre cups before, you know it's not, you don't want that straight line, which is why you're gonna hold your cup up a little bit higher, your glitter cup, because you want it to just fall naturally. Okay, that creates the ombre. Okay, one more time, back to the Cabernet. We're gonna do the same thing. I'm gonna aim kind of a little bit more in the middle, but aiming down. And we're just trying to blend those colors naturally without looking forced and without creating a line. Okay? So you can kind of see how those are blending. Now, another trick that you can do, and I can actually do it, I think if I can do it here. I'll do it here for you. Another trick that you can do, if for some reason you're like, this just isn't working, it looks too much like a line, it's not blended the way that I want, you can take part of your two colors and mix them. So I'm going to take a little bit of Cabernet and a little bit of black, okay? So I'm going to mix these colors together. And then what you can do is pour that mixture of these two colors and sprinkle it in the middle, and that will also help blend your colors together. So it just adds another way. This obviously isn't the best way to mix glitter, but it's kind of what I have right now. Okay, so this one I'm going to do with my hands because I don't have another cup to put it in, and actually sometimes I like doing it with my hands because I can kind of sprinkle it. So I'm just kind of aiming for that middle section, and just kind of letting that sprinkle down. Okay, and then I'm going to go back up. And I'm just going to go back and forth until I feel like I've gotten that nice blend of the two colors. My boys are outside the window, so don't mind all the manly voices. Okay, and there we go. And just going to keep on going. And then if you decide, you know what, the black is a little bit more farther down than I want it more up, just add a little bit more black. It's all up to you. It's all up to your customer. You just got to keep working with it until you kind of get that look that you want, which is why I like the epoxy method for this, because it gives you that extra work time. I just noticed a blank little spot right here where I missed. You can do this with Mod Podge. It's just, it doesn't give you as much time. It's a little bit trickier. So anyway, so I hope this video was helpful. I will show you both. Here's both of our ombre cups. It does take practice. I am not perfect. I am by far not perfect on doing ombres, but I've been practicing for about a year. So some of them I can nail, some of them I don't. It's hit or miss. That's okay. That's why we practice. So don't beat yourself up if it's your first time and you're like, oh, this isn't working. So I know it can be tricky, but I hope these tips helped. If you have any questions, let me know down below. I'd be happy to answer anything that you have. If you have any other video requests, let me know. I do have a couple of videos that I'm working on, and I promise to get them up as soon as I can. We just heard that our kids are out of school for the rest of the month because of the virus going on, so that does make it a little bit more tricky as far as a mom with 5 kids home, trying to film videos without kids in her background. So I will do the best that I can. But in the meantime, thank you for being here. Subscribe if you haven't. I love to have you around here. If you're on Facebook, join us at Carly's Creations, Tumblers, and More. We have a really good group there. Some amazing women and men. I didn't forget the men. I think we have like 2 guys in our group now. So we have a good time. I always offer sneak peeks. We do group exclusive sales in there. We do lots of giveaways, lots of games, and we just have a really good time. So join us there. I'm doing a big 500 member giveaway where I'm giving away a free swag bag. It's $35 worth of products that you get absolutely free. So join us there, and we will see you on the next video. So have a great day. Bye, everyone.